Hello everybody, so this video is entitled Mad Green. We are winning at the casino, and it seems like I make these crazy red and mad green videos about 3 times a year now, about the same rate as we have government shutdowns. Now, the market just absolutely insane, and this type of day is extremely annoying for investors like me. Whether it's a red day or a green day, it's annoying because the market is freaking out. How many freaking outs are we going to have? The stocks stopped trading on fundamentals for the past 2 weeks, notwithstanding the fact they really haven't traded on fundamentals for about 6 months. If you really think about it, like a little tiny miss gives you a halving of the stock. How many folks are getting shaken out by this nonsensical volatility? The volatility is so much higher this decade than before. Stocks have changed. What is going on? Right? People say this is a buying opportunity, not today, right? Yesterday, people will say it's a buying opportunity. You had half the internet, of course, yesterday saying it was going to go way lower and way more in a depression. The point is, buying opportunity or not, we've had enough of these in the 2020s. I would characterize I don't count the big event of 2020, which would count there too, by the way. But since the big event of 2020, we've had scares like this. We've had tariffs, Greenland, Iran. That's the Trump edition, right? That's the past year. This past year, right? And then before that, we had the Biden edition, biggest rate hike cycle in history. After he thought it was a good idea to rename Jay Powell, right? Ukraine, banking crisis. Do you remember Silicon Valley Bank? And of course, if you add the event of 2020, the big one, seven major freakouts in a matter of 6 years. 6 years. 7 major freakouts, and it's accelerating. This is crazy. These things used to happen like once every 5 to 10 years. All of the books that you read about, The Intelligent Investor, all that sort of books, when they talk about events like this, these are once in every 10 years event, right? I mean, we've had 70 years worth of events in a matter of 5 or 6 years. It's just crazy. The market is just random. It's turned more random than ever. Have you ever read the book Random Walk Down Wall Street? A Random Walk Down Wall Street? Well, an even more random one right now. I mean, come on. IMS up 10%, Nebius up 12%. Yesterday, these stocks were down just about equally. Right, well, HIMS had its 10% haircut over a 2-day period. Nebius had its 12% cut over a 1-day period yesterday. You may remember that. I was like, what did Nebius do? Why is Nebius trading at half the forward revenue? Like it was trading at a market cap that's like twice as small as how much money they're going to get from the revenue contracts, the 45 billion worth of contracts they got. Like, it was trading at half forward sales, like 0.5 for Nebius. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's and people may say, oh, well, maybe HIMS traded today because of the fundamentals, the peptide news. Did it really go up because of a peptide news? No, I don't think it went up because of a peptide news. I think it went up because this market is crazy and the liquidity came back in today because it decided to do so. Look at NVIDIA. Case in point, NVIDIA is the best example. Okay, the market decided today that NVIDIA was worth $250 billion more at the end of the day than at the beginning of the day. Beat the denominator. That's the name of the channel. Right? There's a problem with the denominator. There's a problem with liquidity. One share of NVIDIA is one share of NVIDIA, right? These wild swings in all of these numbers, they represent issues with the dollar, issues with the denominator, issues with liquidity. They don't necessarily represent issues with the stock. In fact, if we were to probably value these stocks, like if we were to value IMS relative to Nebius and you create a HIMS to Nebius pair, you would find that maybe they trade more on fundamentals relative to each other, right? If you were to look at pairs of of assets that we actually know of, because stocks we know of, right? We know how many stocks are out there. We know when new shares are issued. We know when shares are bought back. We know the ownership that you got in a stock. We have a lot of information. We have no info about the dollar. We have no info about liquidity. It's manipulation after manipulation after manipulation. Anyways, 250 billion on Nvidia. And of course, I could have used Tesla as an example. I could have used Amazon. Like, all of big tech was big up, like ridiculous. Like, Google was up 5%, Amazon 3%, Broadcom down 5% after it crashed yesterday. Like, it's just nonsensical. And I am well aware that this happens in the markets. I am well aware. But it's the frequency that I complain about. That's why I'm calling it a casino. I complain about the frequency at which this happens. Can we rest, please? Because here's the thing. Do you think it's over? Do you think we have 3 more Matt Green days coming up? Like, because as far as I'm concerned, not much has changed. I suppose we moved on the treasury yield. We dropped on the 10-year, so that's good. We're moving away from a 4.5%, which is kind of like the big scare. So the yields went down. Oil went down a little bit, but not a lot. There's some rumors of people tracking ships in the Strait of Hormuz and showing some ships going through. Okay, but as far as I'm concerned, they've been telling us they're negotiating for how long now? 2 weeks? Have they been negotiating for 2 weeks? Like, yeah, they want to end the war. The U.S. wants to end the war. Everybody wants to end the war. But at the end of the day, is there anything concrete? Is there anything signed? Like, do we agree to stop the rockets? No, I don't see it yet. Yet the market has decided to go Matt Green today. So, do I trust this rally? I don't know. That's why it's so tough to invest right now. Like, I don't know. You have a rally and it hangs on a tweet, and you can't predict when a tweet is going to come. So, unfortunately, this type of market, oftentimes the wisest thing to do is to have cash on the sidelines and make sure you don't have margin. And don't get wiped out, and be very careful with the options, because this is the danger of this type of market. We don't know. Like we live in a world where we are at a tweet away from the market stopping making sense for extended periods of time. In the case of the Iran story, really, it's gotten crazy the past week, especially. But you could argue it's been crazy for about a month, and you could even argue it's been crazy since 10:10. The market still has not recovered from 10:10. Anyways, the rules of investing are changing, and they change if we get a freak out like that 3x a year. It means you'd pretty much have to wait for a crazy tweet, and then you go in and buy when there's a crazy tweet. So for me, who used to be buying stocks just a little bit every day, stocks is my passion, is my hobby, I used to add a little bit every day. To me, I found myself in a situation where the time to have stock is the crazy tweet after the crazy tweet. The question is, how many crazy tweets does it take usually for the bottom? And and that's why people try to have they call it a Trump playbook. They try to create playbook with stage 1 through stage 9, and maybe you buy a stage 8, but it's like it's crazy. It's crazy. So anyways, hopefully we get more Mad Green days, and we get back to a quiet market. And when we have a quiet market, we can actually have price discovery. And stocks can actually trade back on their fundamentals again when we have a quiet market, right? And so I'll conclude with this. There is no wonder that high-yield, low-volatility assets are gaining so much traction right now, and people just want to go on the beach and own an asset like a Stretch or like a SATA. Big day for SATA if you follow this sector. Big day for digital credit today. SATA trading at 100. A first, right? These companies, what do? They take on the volatility for you, whether it's MSTR or Strive. They say, we are going to agree to take on the volatility for you, and in exchange, we smoothen the return for you. And that's why they're able to give these yields. So it almost makes you wonder, could a company create a preferred for gold? Could a company create a preferred for the market, right? The Nasdaq has returned on average, what is it, 18 or 19% for the past 20 years, 18%. Could we have a company that says, I'm going to create a preferred instrument where I give you 10% tax deferred, and then on the back end, I take the risk of investing in the Nasdaq and I earn the delta between 18% and 10%? Are these type of instruments where you accept a lower return for someone to take on the volatility? Are these type of instruments going to become, more common? And then lastly, prediction markets. I know a lot of people like to criticize the predictions market as a casino, but when you really, really think about it, can I bet on revenue growth? Can I bet on a successful product launch? Like, can I bet on the operations of the company, on fundamentals, on company fundamentals? Can I invest in the company fundamentals without being impacted of a denominator? I think this is where we're headed. Recreate an entire synthetic balance sheet for a stock. You recreate an entire synthetic income statement, and you bet on different parts of the income statement, and you recreate a company, right? Maybe you bet a little bit on revenue growth. Maybe you bet a little bit on margin. Maybe you bet a little bit on new product launch, and you synthetically recreate what a stock should be trading at. I mean, this is what it's going to come down to if stocks get so little respect. Like, I can't imagine as a CEO going in the market right now. Like, I would totally stay private. CEOs out there, please stay private. This is crazy. The market is not providing, it's not behaving properly, and it's extremely annoying. So anyways, hopefully we get another Mad Green Day tomorrow. Hopefully. This was not investment advice. This is not financial advice. This is only entertainment. I'm hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.